Welcome back, YouTube. Ruggles is here again.
Hey guys, happy to be here.
We have another GOAT match for you. And I am once again playing Gren Maju Monkey. I love this deck so much.
I've decided to go back to more of a Warrior Turbo. I think it's slowly becoming one of my favorite GOAT decks, and it's definitely something I want to continue exploring. But we're now making it a little bit more bricky. We're playing the Chaos engine, but that also means we have follow-up plays. It's more than just normal summoning, so I think it should be fun. I'm excited.
You've returned to combo. I have not. I've returned back to Monkey.
I mean, I don't know that normal summon Blade Knight is necessarily combo, but you know what? I'll take it. Thank you.
Alright, no problem.
Yeah.
Hopefully you guys enjoy the match. Let's do this.
Let's jump into it.
Alrighty, let's do this. We're gonna roll. I'm gonna lose a die roll. And that's okay. That's life.
You gotta love it. It doesn't mean the difference between winning and losing, like it may in modern Yu-Gi-Oh!, but it's still pretty important, especially with the power spells in the game. With that, I did not draw any. I actually have a very monster-heavy hand with the exception of the Sakuretsu armor, and as you can see, we're starting off with arguably one of the best cards in the deck. If he sets a monster, we can just run it over. However, you pass it back, and you do have the Graceful Charity. Very nice.
Great start. Gotta love the Graceful Charity. Magician of Faith, Ring, and Merchant. We got both our big flip effect monsters. Here I'm just deciding what we want to discard. The Gren Maju early game, unfortunately, isn't something you want to see, so we choose to discard it. And I'm thinking about discarding a second Bazoo, because I already have one in hand.
Yeah.
So I go to discard it anyway. I think everything else in my hand is stuff I just want. I have BLS. I don't have any darks. I don't have access to any darks right now. But, you know, it could save the game later. Anyway, so here we are. We summon Bazoo, and we just banish both because we can. I don't want your Blade Knight randomly, another Blade Knight going up to 2,000. That'd be annoying. And they're fire and earth. It's not like they matter for the BLS. So it's 22, and we're swinging, but you have Saku.
Yeah, and I have to note, really cool that you were able to immediately banish 2 on turn 1, immediately turning on that return should you need it. That's really nice. I mean, you didn't have the Dark for BLS, but you did have other options for that. So I believe you just set the Ring of Destruction pass back. I have a hand full of monsters, so even if I get Torrential Tributed or even Mirror Forced, you know what, I can still come back. So I do get aggressive. It is what this deck is meant to do. We are playing Monkey, and here you go for the ring. But at this point, I'm okay with that because I'm getting the damage in that I wanted to, and at this point, that's the goal.
Yeah, for sure. I was actually debating what I wanted to ring. And in my thought process, funny enough, I was wondering, okay, I haven't seen a deck with Skill Dark Magician. Is he actually playing Dark Magician? Because with my hand right now, as it is, I can't handle the Ultimate Wizard in terms of attack and defense. But I knew you also didn't have any spells. So, you know, it was an educated gamble. You did tell me at the end of the match you didn't play Dark Magician. You know, I don't know GOAT format sometimes. You know, I would play Dark Magician, just one, for the memes. And if it resolved, it'd be incredible.
If you watch a lot of our matches, you will see that we do appreciate the memes. I think I played Widespread Ruins in a deck that it shouldn't be in because I like the card. You played a Penguin Soldier in our first match, so a Dark Magician really wouldn't be out of the question. I love that you thought about it. No, I'm not being that memey today, though I do appreciate how memey you were with the Gren Majus and the ability to just swing for big game. With that, you do the classic GOAT play, set a monster, set a back row, I draw, and we get the Graceful Charity. Absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, it's a really good top deck with 2 spells in your hand. You know, if you did play a Dark Magician, it was live. Now, you don't end up actually putting spell counters on your Skilled Dark Magician, so no. I kind of recognize it at that point, especially if you discard the spell. But, you know, it's funny. The Graceful was, you know, that's as good as it gets. And you also have Heavy Storm for later. You have a handful of monsters. You know, it could go either way right now.
Yeah, things are looking fairly decent. I really don't want you flipping all of your cards. I don't want you gaining advantage. My deck definitely excels when it's hyper aggressive and when you can just swing and steal those early games, because your deck does better mid to late game and mine just doesn't. So again, going for that damage, you set 2, and from there you have 2 back row, means it's time for the heavy storm.
Oh yeah, that heavy storm never gets old.
Yeah, so
I do have a Regeki break face down. I'm thinking about chaining it. I'm pretty sure I'd chain it. I have 2 Thunder Dragons in my hand. There's no reason not to chain it. You know, at least one of the back rows was chainable, so we can take out your monster.
yeah, definitely the right call. Again, I have a very monster heavy hand, and you do not want to die. You recognize that there's a potential for a BLS, so you bring back those monsters, and now if I had the BLS, that just wouldn't be game. So, good call on your part.
That definitely was a thought. Any Chaos monster potentially could have sealed you the game right there. So, you know what? My life points are already pretty low, 2,600. You know, whatever, it's alright. You don't have games, so you just attack into the face down, add Grapes to Charity back, and
Yeah.
hopefully we draw some good stuff with it. Because now, at the end of my turn, my board empties. So, we gotta get some good cards now.
I am exclusively playing just hyper aggro cards in this deck, and so I'm not playing cards like Magician of Faith. Seeing him resolve it makes me a little jealous, makes me want to put it back in the deck. I know it's not what the deck's meant to do though. So here you go, fire it off, you get 3 more cards, you have quite a few Gren Majus in hand, which aren't great when you only have 2 banished cards.
No, definitely. That was not what I wanted to see off of Graceful Charity. The Morphing Jar is really funny, that's an option, but double Gren Maju there in my hand isn't. So we discard a second Gren Maju, we discard Thunder Dragon, still keep BLS in my hand, still hoping to get a Dark Monster. You know, that's just what we want. We want a Dark Monster. And we set a monster, we set the knock as a bluff and pass. Your Heavy Storm is gone. You know, it's not terrible.
Yeah, now, I don't know if you saw that, I drew into a beautiful Ring of Destruction, which means we're going to steal the game. However, we have some fun with it. We start by normal summoning the Kaiku, and we say, hey, what do you got? Also, I lied. I don't have Ring.
That's Jar Greed.
That's Jar of Greed.
You know, they look the same. It's honestly okay. You know, whatever. We've resolved the Morphing Jar, which is the best part. Oh, I love Morphing Jar. It's free. It's free for you too, unfortunately. But, like,
Yeah.
you know, it's fine.
I do like that I was able to dig a little deeper into the deck there. We have the Premature Burial, which means we have access to the Exiled Force. It's not bad, but I don't have anything really to set in the back row to keep me alive. So unfortunately, we're just passing back and we're letting you rip our hand apart.
Yeah, at the cost of 1,000 life points, though, which, unfortunately, at this point is very almost lethal. Like, you can't do a whole lot with 300 life points. I can activate Return again. I could do that. That's it. Like, one single little drop here and it's game over. So I need to be super careful. I have some good cards in the hand, but you also have yeah, I took out 2 cards, but you still have options too, and I don't know what you have. This could get really ugly. And I have so many plays.
Yeah.
I could set the Magician of Faith. I could summon the Breaker. You know, I could Premature Burial something.
Except you can't because you are down to 300 life points.
That's right.
You do still have a lot of play though, and in your scenario, I really don't know what I'd go with. It's nice that you have the Wing Blast for a little bit of protection, but now I do have 2 monsters, and you have used your normal summon, so that's looking pretty rough over on your end. Again, from the start, I think I was in a pretty good position.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. I chose to attack with the Breaker instead of pop the back row, because if I popped the back row, I couldn't clear your board, couldn't clear your monsters, so I just kind of had to hope.
Yeah.
And me in my hand, I'm just thinking, I know you don't have Heavy Storm. I know it's gone. So I think we're just setting the back rows and we're passing. That's really all we can do, because we can't set the Magician of Faith anymore. Oh, it's scary.
Yeah, what's nice though is, again, you have that return, so you know you have safety in it. You have the Wing Blast, you have safety in that. So, like, realistically, you're not dead, but again, you're not in the best position. Now, at this point, I'm I'm not really sure what I want to do. I consider switching the Warrior Lady to attack mode. Think about it, it's not the best call. If you do have Mirror Force, then it's a really good resource that I'm getting rid of. So I decided to summon the Kaiku instead, as the 2 of them are hypothetically enough. If you have a Saku, then I still get game. If you have a singular Raigeki Break or a singular Wing Blast, I have game. And from there, you do have the return, and that is enough to save you.
That definitely. We cut the life points in half again, but we survive. I really want to use the returns for an offensive push, swing for game, but it's just not happening. I have no choice but to defend with it. You set a back row, and that's it. I got 150, and we have some flip effect monsters.
Yeah, you drew into the merchant. It's not what you want to see at this point. You wanted something that allowed you to probably play instead. Setting the Magician of Faith, I definitely think is the correct call. And from there, I, again, have a pretty good hand. We have a lot of monsters going on. I decide to activate the Premature Burial, get back the Exiled Force, I believe. That way we don't have to deal with whatever that face-down monster potentially is. And look at that, 4 monsters on the board in Goat. It's kind of a rare sight to see. Fun. So we do pop the Magician of Faith, and at that point, things are looking good.
You know, they really are. Can I survive, though, is the question. That's what we're wondering. That's it. Yup.
Yeah, can't blame you. Again, I opened quite well, and I think you played all of that pretty correctly.
Yeah, we did all right. We'll try again in game 2. All right, jumping into game 2, I'm going to go first. Love that Mirror Force. Yep. I don't even set it. We just set a monster and pass. That's it.
I don't hate it. Saving the Mirror Force till I hypothetically use something like a Breaker or an MST, and then you have that very powerful card in your back pocket. It's not a bad call, and you didn't open with any power spells. There really wasn't much you could do. I also didn't open great here. I have a Chaos Sorcerer as my only monster. I have a lot of back row. However, you haven't used Heavy Storm yet. You didn't set any back row, so I'm not not feeling confident about setting anymore. And from there, you do, get that Pot of Greed, you get that Thunder Dragon. Things are looking up.
Oh yeah, I love to see it. We get to thin our deck by 4 cards. I think this puts me at 8 cards in hand. Do you really need that much advantage? Like it's crazy. It's absolutely insane. My hand is full of monsters. Your hand is full of back row stuff.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. I do blow the Heavy Storm, try to get the +1. Great.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Did exactly what you needed to do. And now you are in a really good position. I only have 3 cards, one of which is completely dead. You have a Breaker, which means me setting any cards just isn't safe in general, and I draw into more back row. Interesting, considering, we play as many monsters as we do, but this does happen, and as I noted in the intro, we're playing more of a Chaos variant, which is, it allows us to extend, it allows us to do more, but it also allows us to brick more, and that's essentially what we're seeing.
And you don't do anything, you pass. At this point, I have no idea what's in your hand. I have no reads, but this is crazy. I don't know what you're doing. But I know that you obviously don't have much going on, so we go for 3,800 damage because we can do that. We can just swing for lots of damage. Good turn.
My thought process was, I have a lot of life points, you're not going to kill me, and whatever I set Breaker is going to hit, and I wanted to be in a better position before I set all of those cards. However, I'm now in a place where I can't play games. I am forced to set everything, and that's unfortunate. So I can do it safely knowing that the Heavy Storm is gone, though you do play Magician of Faith, you could get it back, but we have to do what we have to do.
And we go for Jinzo because you have 4 back rows, and you have Solemn, which is incredible.
Yeah.
Oh man, Jinzo could have shut you down, but you also book a moon, so really it didn't. Breaker will go, Breaker will pop something, pop that.
Yeah, you hit the Mirror Force. The one card I really didn't want you to hit. It's why I didn't set it previously, but you got those snipes. Well done. The second Solemn isn't really going to do much against the Breaker, and now I have to deal with 2 monsters, something a singular Book of Moon can't deal with, so I have to Solemn the Tribe Infecting Virus.
For sure. I didn't think you had Torrential, so I didn't have any fear in that, but you did have the second Solemn Judgment, going down to 575 life points, and the Book of Moon saves you, so look at that.
Yeah, so we're drawing, we want a monster, and oh, look at that, we have one, but you know what? Is it too late? We summon the Breaker. You have 2 back row lined up. We have the token. Of course, I'm going to use the effect pop, and from there, you got the return. Doesn't really matter all that much. We swing into the face down. You've got the Mirror Force. I hit the wrong one.
Well, you did.
Oh,
yeah.
Well
Flip
done.
Attack for game.
Good game.
And it's time to wrap up the match with an awesome game 3.
Yeah, so this time I get to go first. Gotta love it. We actually opened a combination of monsters, spells, and traps, so that's also nice. We have a dark. We don't have a light for Chaos Sorcerer yet, but we have the Jar of Greed to draw one. Decide to set 2, just in case, again, he opens the Heavy Storm. And he opens with the Thunder Dragon. Very nice.
I do enjoy how regularly I see Thunder Dragon. Man, in modern Yu-Gi-Oh, I love the Thunder Dragon engine. It's really explosive. It thins cards. In GOAT format, it just thins cards. And I guess it gives you Chaos Fodder. Oh, man.
It gives you discards. It makes cards like Raigeki Break and Wing Blast so much better. It makes Graceful Charity so much better. And it, again, loads up your graveyard for Chaos or things like that of Bazoo. So, again, really, really incredible. Great start. And with that, you have a lot of option here. You decide to go with the Breaker. We both have 1900. Not a bad call. However, you decide to use the effect.
For sure. Yeah, for reasons like that, it would have baited out the Sakuretsu anyway by me trying to crash. So I thought that it was the best play. I didn't actually know you played Jar of Greed in the deck because I didn't see one yet until right now, which is really interesting. And I would have felt really awkward if I hit the Jar of Greed with Breaker, so I'm happy I didn't.
Oh, understandably. Now, I decide to just seek out what you kind of have in the background there. I go for the swing with the 1900. I realize, oh, you know what? I didn't draw for turn. Thank you for reminding me about that, by the way. The jar kind of made me assume that I did, but yeah, saved. And then again, I do go for the swing. That is, I think, my optimal play at this point. You have the ring. Of course, you had something. You weren't just going to summon the Breaker and pop without some back row. But again, I felt okay about that.
Couldn't let you keep that on the field. We can't have you summoning any Dark Magicians. Can't do that.
No, of course not. So at this point, again, I have a fairly sizable hand. We haven't summoned yet. We could go for the Exile and pop your monster. We could set some back row. We have a lot of life points, and so we don't need to play too aggressively here. We decide, again, to set the 2. We have the Solemn, which is nice, and from there, heavy thought. Heavy thought.
Not so much heavy thought for me, because I'm playing the monkey deck, so we're going in for 1600 and attacking, because that's all we know how to do.
I gotta tell you, I respect you. I respect the monkey deck. I love it. We unfortunately drew into another Solemn. However, you know, we have the Blade Knight at this point. We can't really get the hand size down because of the Chaos Sorcerer and the Exiled Force. I decide to go and swing into the face down so that you do not get the potential flip effect. And if the Blade Knight goes to grave, then the Chaos Sorcerer in hand is live, and we can really start playing with a lot of protection for it because we do have the multiple Solemns. So at this point, I feel like I'm relatively well set up for the future, and I pass it back.
Yeah, you have a lot going on there. It's actually insane. That's great. I can't beat your Blade Knight unless I kill it this turn. I'm pretty confident. So, we crash. So I don't want that flipping, not triggering my flip effects. I don't want it being 2,000. And we just set a couple cards. And you drew a trap.
I did.
You would have had 2,000.
So here, I decide to, again, limit your ability to gain advantage using the Exiled Force. Very common play. Really don't want you flipping up those cards. And now, again, we have the ability to extend. I played this warrior deck a couple episodes ago. I really liked it, but it really was reliant on that normal summon. And the Chaos Engine, again, while bricky, as you saw in the last game, allows us to do things like this and really make some pushes. Now, here, you go for the Wing Blast, discard a card. I feel like I have to activate the Solemn. I don't have more lights and darts, and we need to protect the Sorcerer.
10,000% the right play. That would have stacked your deck with something dead, and I'd Raigeki Break. Oh, 2 Solemns. Man, if I could have just removed that Chaos Sorcerer, but you were ready, and I was feeling so good about everything.
Yeah.
You had it.
Yeah, discarding the Thunder Dragons off of the Raigeki Break and the Wing Blast, again, fantastic, has to feel good, until you're met with the Solemn Judgment. Of course, I set the Mirror Force, I have some protection, I'm feeling relatively good, though my life points are, not healthy, and a big push from you could be an issue. Luckily, you set one and pass.
Yeah, I drew Return, I think, which, no banish cards, not great. I also Premature Burial in my hand. Not great. That Chaos Sorcerer might just steal this whole game.
Well, that's really what the Chaos Warrior deck's about. You summon a big monster and you keep it alive. You protect that castle, and that's really just what I'm attempting to do here. Now, again, you don't have really much option at all, with the exception of, maybe just setting. And again, yeah, things are looking pretty good. Though, you do check your option. Do you have the Serpent engraved? Do you have anything else? Good for you. Always good to just be mindful of your plays before committing to things.
For sure. Here, I don't know why I show you the premature burial when I'm thinking about it, because I have nothing in my graveyard that can survive, because it's supposed to summon in attack mode, and clearly I don't know what I'm doing, and that's okay. That's all right. So we just don't do any of that.
No, we're a little too used to modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Activating the monster reborn and bringing it out in defense mode. Completely understandable. Though, yeah, can't activate that, so you just go for the simple set.
Yeah, that's it. So good. So good. The problem is you can't just normal summon and beat Chaos Sorcerer, right? So we have to keep going until we draw something.
Yeah, so at this point, I decide, you know what? I want game. We summon Don Zalug, and I say, you know what? He doesn't play Gravekeeper Spy. I think we can run over whatever he has. However, for the very first time, Cyberjar.
Gotta love it when it resolves. Oh, man. So here we are just reading Cyberjar because we haven't ever resolved the card's effect in real life. So we reveal top 5 cards of our deck, and we pick our level 4 lower monsters. Everything else goes to the hand, but level 4 lower monsters can either be summoned in face-up attack mode or face-down defense mode. You have 3 monsters to match my 3 monsters, and I'm just looking at that like, that's just not good.
It's pretty even. You gotta love it. I have the Heavy Storm as well, which is a nice follow-up for the next turn if I just want to get hyper aggressive. Unfortunately, I do have multiple monsters on the field, so the Blade Knights aren't going to get the effect of negating the face downs, so all of his flip effects are going to be alive, though I do decide, they're an issue. We need to get them off the board so that he doesn't have the ability to tribute for something like a Jinzo. So we start swinging, we let him get his advantage, his effects. We're just kind of going over, potential outcomes here. Hits the BLS, the Jar, the Gren. It's a big graveyard, and then the Wing Blast.
For sure. Yeah. Doesn't feel good. Getting rid of Tribe and BLS, really, really unfortunate. Either of those top decks would have been great. And then second Blade Knight goes in Magician of Faith. And that's Bazoo. We go into Magician of Faith now, though. And we come to the unfortunate truth that I have not seen a single spell this entire game.
No.
So it did nothing.
You're like 20 cards deep, too. It's insane. The only spell you have is a Premature Burial, and it's not live. Oh, not really. So, yeah, you're in a really tough position. I do go ahead and pass back. I have 3 set. I'm feeling fairly safe. Both of us are down on life points, and it's interesting.
For sure. I really only have 2 plays to try to stay in the game. The first play here is the Premature Burial into something to tribute for Jinzo, because you have 4 back row. That way, you need Book of Moon, or I'm in a really good spot, or something to out the Premature Burial. Mm-hmm. The second option would have been just normal summon Bazoo, but then it loses to Mirror Force, Saku, loses to literally everything. At least Jinzo only loses to technically 1 card. Unfortunately for me, when I go to attack, we find out, so as soon as I feel like attacking, that you have Book of Moon, and at that point, it sucks, because I'm pretty sure that's the game.
Yeah, again, it turns on your traps. Your Torrential, your Wing Blast, they're hypothetically now live. The return still not doing anything for you because you haven't been able to banish in the game, but you do have 2 trap cards. I draw, and as you know, I do have the Heavy Storm that you gave me off of a Cyberjar. I think one of us got a little bit more lucky with that Cyberjar than the other, especially after the great cards you milled with the Merchant. But from here, I'm just making sure that if I commit to the Heavy Storm, that I do have game. I really don't want to make a fatal decision at this point. So we go in for that Heavy. I'm assuming he chains a trap to get one of my monsters off the board. If he has 2, then it's an issue. But, there's the Wing Blast. He can return 1, not enough, and we swing for a game.
Yes, well played.
Well played, yeah. Congrats on the Monkeys.
Thanks.
I love them.
Okay. And we're back. That was a well-played match.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. It was pretty close there. We got to swing in with some big monsters. I love that you kept the deck you did. I think I also may need to return to Monkey because it's just fun Yu-Gi-Oh.
That is fun Yu-Gi-Oh. But we will return to whatever you guys want to see, as long as you leave it in the comments.
Yeah, let us know. We are having a lot of fun diving into old popular decks, new popular decks, and really anything. I think I saw a Levia Dragon Day Dallas Reasoning Gate deck the other day online, and if I figure out if I decide to do that, we'll give credit to whoever actually made it. But again, happy to play the weird decks as well.
Yeah, no problems. Just let us know. We have the cards. We'll make it happen.
Yeah.
But make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell so you know when they go live.
As you like to say, smash potatoes.
Smash potatoes. That's right. Smash it.
Yes. Just like Monkey.
Just like
Monkey smash.
Monkey smash.
You smash.
That's right.
Okay.
We'll see you guys later.